Hey everybody, it's Theresa here and welcome back to my channel. Welcome to Larkin Design. And today I have something really special that I want to share with you from my heart. And so I wanted to share a walkthrough of my Light the Path album and this project that I've been working on. I've been working on this project for I guess about a year now, and back last summer I began to conceptualize a project that would be designed for healing and began to generate the content and develop this into a real-life project called Light the Path. And then in January I launched the workshop called Light the Path, which is ongoing each month on our website. And so I wanted to just share, now that it has been 6 months that the project has been going on for me and for the participants of the workshop, I wanted to just come on today and share a walkthrough of my album and how I have brought this to life. I wanted to tell you a little bit more about it and just share with you from my heart. And so what exactly is Light the Path and why is this a thing? And so if you want to learn more about my story, you can see that on our website at the brand story page on Larkin Design, or the My Story page on Light the Path, and that will give you the details in terms of my personal life and how that has impacted my creativity. And so, funny story, I am a one little word dropout, and back in 2016 I was going through some pretty heavy stuff in my life, and really set off on a healing path. And I did one little word in 2016 and I chose the word shine, and in April I gave up and felt like the word shine was just kind of a cruel joke at that point in my life, just because of what I was working through. And so I quit doing the project. And even though I support One Little Word, I think it's an amazing project, and I think it is excellent if you are looking for goal setting and you know, you want something to some really powerful exercises and journaling prompts. Great project all the way around. I figured out for myself, because at the time I was doing some deep emotional work, that I really needed a project and wanted a project that was geared for emotional healing and that offered opportunities to go deeper and help me make sense of the healing path that I was on. And so Light the Path came from that, need within myself, and I know it's a need within many other folks who are looking for how to make sense of emotional healing, how to make sense of what is happening at a time where sometimes you feel a little lost and sometimes you feel a little unsure. I had reached a point in my life where I simply did not know what else to do. I did not know what my next steps should be. I was at the lowest point, I think, of my life in a lot of ways, and I definitely needed and had access to a medical team and a therapeutic team to help guide me through that period in my life. But I also needed more. I needed a community. I needed a way to identify whether it was on the right track or not, whether it is this normal, how to make sense of what I was pushing so hard to heal from. And so out of that came this project. And so I wanted to do a walkthrough. This is a creative journaling project. And so each month, the workshop participants receive prompts in their inbox. It's all digital. They receive prompts and exercises that incorporate art, photography, and scrapbooking. We do a little meditation as well, and journaling, as much journaling as you would like. And so I wanted to share how this has come to life for me. I really just wanted to express thank you to all the people who have supported me and encouraged me on this journey. And I also want to thank the paid designers who have contributed product to this project. There are digital scrapbook collections with each month's prompt, and these designers have given their all. I will credit each one as I go through the notebook. And I also want to thank the participants of Light the Path who have signed on for digging deep and working hard. And gosh, you guys, I'm so proud of all of us. I debated whether I should include this video in the classroom or in the workshop itself, but I really wanted to share it here because I think that a lot of people would like to see what this project looks like and what it feels like after 6 months. So I'm going to put my camera up and direct you all to the Light the Path project. Thank you so much. Let's check it out. Okay, so I came to the realization at the end of June that I was about to fill this binder up. So I decided for July that I'm going to start a new binder. And so this is the new binder. And so this is what I will have on my shelf for this year. And this will represent a documentation of a year of healing, a year of deep emotional work, and also a year of affirmations of myself and the journey that I'm on. And so let me just clear this out. This is one of the first cards that Elif Sahin of Sahin Designs created for us. And I just love the sentiment of Open Path, and just wanted to include that in some of the photos for this video, the marketing photos for this video. So let me set this aside. And so I mentioned that each month the prompts include a art journaling exercise, a photography exercise, and scrapbook layouts. And of course, each person is invited to create with the collection that is released with the prompt. And with each prompt, there's also what I call a chat video, which is pretty typical for Larkin Design classes. And I usually go over some kind of concept or some sort of way of thinking about particular aspects of healing. And so those are reflected in these layouts. Let me bring this down a little bit. Okay, and so those are reflected in these layouts, and I will chat a little bit about each prompt as we go along. I have a messy desk here. My secrets off camera are revealed. So the opening layout for January, and I will just read to you the journaling. I am ready for this new year and ready for all that it holds for me. I am ready to show myself grace and compassion, and I am ready to shine, the word shine, with love, strength, and wisdom. And then the embellishments here and the labels and the word strips were designed by Elif Sahin that month. And so this is just a sort of mantra for the new year and sort of how I wanted to come into the new year. It feels a little naive now, but one thing is that this has been the perfect year to do this kind of project because it has helped me stay grounded. And so I wrote here, this year is the first year in quite a few years that I feel good about starting a new year. It feels a bit strange, like trying to fit into a new skin or a new pair of jeans, and yet I know I have worked so hard to get here, and I have cried so many tears, so I'm going to go boldly into this fresh new year with all the insights and perspective I have gained. I'm going to continue practicing meditation, positive self-talk, and art. Most importantly, I vow to continue being true to myself and giving myself and others a compassionate response. And so I love this. This layout made me fall in love, finally made me fall in love with 2x2 pockets. And I cut up some of the cards from Elif's collection that month. I included a photo of myself. This was actually taken at Universal when we were in Florida in early January. And so these were 5 things that I am proud of myself for and that I know about myself to be true. And so 1, I'm always a truth seeker. I want to know. 2, I'm a believer. I believe the power of our story to heal. 3, I am a lover. Love always wins. I dated it on the 1st of January. And then number 4, I'm a realist. Be upfront and straightforward. 5, I am fiercely loyal to myself and to those I love. And I cut up more of the cards that Elif had designed, and then added a few embellishments here and there. And so then for some of the other scrapbook layouts I did that month, just a photo of myself and a chipboard piece, probably from Ali Edwards. This is right here, right now. The card with the bird, it says open path. And here it says, where I am today, I am just beginning to see how I have grown and what healing looks like for me. I can see my own strength, where in the past I saw fear and weakness. It was justified fear, and what I thought was weakness was actually the shame I carried of someone else's terrible behaviors. And some more of the journaling cards here. Who I am, where, Kernersville, North Carolina, when, the 1st of January. I am proud of the life I have built. We have a beautiful family and home filled with love and comfort. We built this life. This card says, my character and my strength. I wrote about, I have always wanted to know the truth, and that has guided me to learn what happened to me so I can heal. And my strength is the ability to love myself as a human being who has made mistakes but is still worthy of love and compassion. And then I filled in this little space here with I am strong and beautiful. This word strip says, this is sunshine to my soul. I think that little word strip is from Citrus Twist. And then the signature Light the Path card that Elif created. And this card says, I am ready for this. I'm ready to see where this year takes me. I'm ready to learn and to love and to embrace this journey no matter what. And then the now circle is from Ali Edwards. That's from Simple Stories, and that I'm not sure. It may be a really old piece that France Wisniewski of Banana Fish Studio designed for one of the kit clubs that I designed a couple of years ago, or that she designed a couple of years ago. Somehow that seems to be what I'm thinking. I have just a few personal things in here that were sent to me. This was a piece of artwork that a survivor sister made and signed for me on the back, which is particularly, I think that's particularly meaningful when we can share each other's art. And so that was a really wonderful thing. This moves into February. You have everything you need to thrive inside you already. Listen to your body to find your way. And so the theme for February was your 5 senses, and sort of the mantra for that month was to let your senses be your guide. And so we explored this month. The month of February was actually a life-changing one. I mean, they've all been life-changing for me, but we talked about how our senses, when we experience trauma, or we go through difficult circumstances, our senses are the way that our bodies take in information. And so to heal, we have to pay attention to our senses and reconnect the brain and the body to pay attention to our senses so that we can know what our needs are from that. So this was my art journaling layout, and then I did another pocket 2x2 pocket page here and spelled out senses. And so our photography prompt was to take a picture of each of our 5 senses and include that in a layout. And then on the back of it, this paper is Heidi Swap, and then on the back of it I journaled about sight, smell, hearing, touch, and taste. And then continuing, I wrote more about what my sensory experience has been like. So all through my life, I have experienced the world through my senses. Some of the sensory experiences have been amazing, and others have been incredibly traumatic. Still, I am thankful. There have been times in my life that these sensory experiences have been overwhelming to me. I'm giving myself the grace to recognize those feelings and to heal. I am so thankful now to be regaining control over my life and the senses that I possessed. Big feelings and big emotions don't have to be so scary to me now, because I can walk away anytime these 5 senses tell me to, and the healing power of touch. So the collection that month, which is what these 2 pages are from, they were designed by me. And then I did this layout for the Celine Studio design team, and so this collection is from Krista Celine. And I used some word art: I am enough, strong, loved, me, happy. And then some of the interactive elements on the card here: I am strong, loved, inspired, complete, and worthy. Telling the story of what happened to me was the most bold, brave, scary, and demeaning thing I ever did, but I now own my courage and my strength to face the truth. I still have a few gaps here and there to fill in. So, like I said, there are still some products that have not been announced yet, so they'll be going in there. This begins March, and so March was designed by Neftali Zambrano, and you guys, she did these fabulous florals, and I printed them out on vellum and created my mixed media page based on those florals. And so the title is This Is My Favorite Place, and of course it's my studio, and I dated it, so 2/28. And so for March, we talked about figuring out how to create spaces around us that are safe for us and comfortable, in response to what we learned about our senses in February. So my journaling reads, this month I have really seen signs of growth and healing. I don't know if it's because I am trying to pay more attention, but for the first time, I'm almost excited about my recovery, and I'm definitely hopeful for a bright future. There's a calm right now that in some ways I'm afraid to trust, but I also know it is a direct result of my own hard work to bring my anxiety down a notch. Having this project is also life-changing to be able to put this somewhere for a while and also share with others. For this, I am so thankful. And so this was interesting because I journaled about this on the 3rd of March, which was right before we went into lockdown, I believe the 13th of March, so just a couple of days later. And I mentioned that in the workshop as well. And that my journaling the next week would have been completely different. And I'm really glad that I documented those moments of power right there. Because even with the uncertainty right now, this still exists within me. And that has not taken that away. There may be moments where I'm unsure, but it's still there. It's documented. I have proof of it. I can hold this in my hand. And I know that I will feel these ways again. We will, this is my hope, right? It's actually now a tangible hope that even though times are kind of challenging right now, but we will feel some joy and pride again after we get through whatever COVID has for us. And so some of the other journaling I wrote was, this month is all about the people, places, and things that bring me joy. Up first is myself. I am a source of joy. And that was really a powerful realization for me that as we identified people, places, and things, external sources, that we also were at the center of being our own source of joy. In the past, I always put myself last, but through healing, I have learned that I have to love myself first above all. And I think that learning to love ourselves is actually the path of healing. I think that has become louder and louder in my head as I travel down this path more and more, that it really is all about coming to love ourselves. So I wrote about some of my favorite things, my favorite place, my favorite scent right now, the butterscotch maple for the light warmers. Love that thing. Macarons, favorite taste, favorite person with Alan. And then my favorite comfort is our cat. Do you guys have a comfort pet? So the card read, these are my favorite things. I am so thankful for these gentle, safe, loving reminders that there are good things all around me. I can trust and will work to trust that the people, places, and things around me can be helpful to me on my journey. And so having people, places, and things be the theme for the month of March was a bit of a challenge, actually, because of the quarantine. But what I reminded our workshop members was that there would come a day where we would be able to go back to those places that we loved. And so for now, the task was to remember those favorite people, those favorite places, those favorite things, so that we would be able to remember that it's going to be okay again. And then moving into April, and so this collection was designed by Elif Sahin. And so the stamp set I used was actually from Paisley Press So Liz Tamanaha designed that stamp set. I think it was for Studio Calico that month. So my emotional journey has been filled with difficult moments where I felt completely unable to cope or manage. It took working through trauma to figure it out. And so the focus for the month of April was to honor our emotions. And it really was all about beginning to see how our emotions, even though they can feel scary, they can feel overwhelming at times, but that our emotions are actually a really good guide to us. And so that was sort of the focus that month. I also wrote, I have learned that I'm not ever going to get it perfect, but I can be super gentle with myself. I can fully acknowledge my emotions and then create strategies around meeting my emotional needs every single day. That was a really powerful month, and we did some really good work around emotions. This is my art journal page that I made for that month, and it says, your truest emotions are part of your being in order to thrive. And so I used the Thrive and the Progress Over Perfection stamps for that one. And then moving into May. And so May was also designed by Neftali Zambrano. And let's see, it was all about the things I need to hear. And I actually did a scrapbook album. I did a whole album about the things I need to hear in the past, and have done layouts around this whole theme of what are some things that I need to be reminded of. And that's a really good journaling prompt, by the way, or if you ever want to do a comforting layout about yourself, it's a great place to start. So this was my art journaling page. It is going to be okay. Maybe not right now, maybe not tomorrow, but one day it will be okay. And then I said, promise, promise. And that was sort of a statement to myself, sort of like, remember how we used to say it as kids, you promise? Yes, I promise. And so it's kind of the first time I've really spoken to myself as a child, maybe. I don't know if that makes sense. But we'll be working on that a little bit more in the future in the workshop. So I saw this quote. It was posted by Cassie in the Paper Issues Facebook group, and I just wanted to make sure that it got into my album. It says, at times our own light goes out and is rekindled by a spark from another person. Each of us has cause to think with deep gratitude of those who have lighted the flame within us, and it's by Albert Schweitzer. And I love that quote because it's a reminder. It's sort of almost it relates to Light the Path in so many ways. What I wanted for the workshop was to develop a community of people who light each other's path. And that is what we're doing. That is what this project does. So I used one of Neftali's cards here for the background and then stamped the concept for that month. And then the 4 things I need to hear. The light is within you. You are magic and wisdom. Everything is going to be okay. You're doing amazing things. And again, reinforcing sort of these spaces that bring me joy. But our photography prompt for that month was to pay attention to the light. And what happened when I was paying attention to where the light came in. They happen to be my favorite spots. And I've done that before in my house. When I pay attention to where the light comes in, those are my favorite places. And I don't think that's an accident. But we're also reminded that the light is in us. We light our own path, and we control who we allow along our path. Because some people will light your path, and some people will turn your lights out. So we get to be very intentional about what we allow on that path. So some of my journaling here: you deserve to hear, believe, feel, and say positive things about yourself, no matter what anyone else says and no matter what else is going on. One of the biggest changes in myself is how I talk to myself. I used to repeat over and over the awful things they would say to me and about me. I'm so glad I stopped that. And the word art says the best days are here. This little label Neftali designed, it says, I vow to speak kindly to myself always. And I added a photo of my flowers that month because it was kind of random, but they were something that were an unexpected bright spot in the whole lockdown thing. And so I included a photo of them to remind myself of that little bit of joy right outside my window. So a little more journaling here. Most importantly, you deserve to tell yourself every day how proud you are of yourself and your journey and your hard work. And this is very important. And then the little circle bit from Sew Your Calico that says just grow. An art journaling page here. This was shared on Instagram, and it was done with packaging from Click Kits. The roses are tissue paper, and then I just built up a background from that. And this is moving into June, and the designer for the month of June is Allison Pennington. So the labels here are from Allison, and then the die cuts and embellishments here are from the Stamp Market. And the title here, Be Authentic, that title is also from the Stamp Market. So our theme for June is One Beautiful Thing. I stamped that out here on the card, and then we played with filters for the photography prompt this month, and so I did a series of photos just using filters. One of the things that I wanted us to practice is seeing ourselves through the lens and seeing ourselves in photographs, and that's something that we have to practice doing that. And it's an important part of healing to come to see yourself in the lens and in print, and to be able to love yourself. It's a healing practice. And so some of my journaling here, I have learned over the years that I am quite capable, talented, and able to pull things together in some pretty incredible ways. I have learned I am capable, and that is so freeing. That is so amazing. Go me. And so the one beautiful thing is that we're supposed to think this month about something that we know about ourselves that is really powerful and that affirms us as incredible human beings. And it can be anything. So I journaled here. I always knew I was capable of surviving. I was always doing that somehow. Now I'm learning how to thrive. Currently, I see changes coming. I see a world that hurts. I hear justifiable anger. I hear righteous turmoil. I feel anxiety and uncertainty, and I feel resolved. I really like this. There's a little stamp that says notice, notice, notice. And then I also journaled, today, I'm committed to healing my heart and healing my family so we can be allies and supporters to a world that is crying out for justice and change. We must bravely face the injustices that are happening by recognizing and speaking truth to power. As survivors, the power dynamic must be dismantled in order to heal. And I love this card. It says, witness it, accept it, and release it. And so I wrote, witness the injustices and sit with that pain. Accept what needs to be done. Release our own pride and work to do good. And that is the project for the first 6 months. Thank you so much for walking through this album with me. This is a really powerful project that has changed my life, and I love being able to share it with you guys, being able to share the workshop with other amazing human beings who are also committed to healing. And I invite you, as always, to check it out on the website. It will be linked below, and would love to have you join us. Would love to light your path, and together we can thrive. So I'll see you again soon. Thanks again for watching. Bye-bye.